Bro, I need you to stop whatever you are doing right now because this just happened and the internet is absolutely on fire. Megan Thee Stallion, 3 Grammy Awards, one of the most powerful women in hip-hop, went on her Instagram story over the weekend and just torched everything. No PR team, no carefully worded statement crafted by some lawyer in a suit, just Megan, a phone, and a level of anger that you could feel through the screen. And what she revealed stopped people cold. Because it was not just about cheating. It was about something this man actually said to her, out loud, with his whole chest. Stay with me, because by the time we get to that detail, you are going to understand exactly why the internet reacted the way it did. All right, let me set this up properly, because if you just stumbled onto this story, you need the full picture before the main event lands. Megan Thee Stallion is 31 years old. She has spent the last several years being one of the most scrutinized women in the entire entertainment industry. And I am not talking regular celebrity scrutiny. I'm talking about having to go through a very public legal battle, defend her own credibility in real time, and rebuild her reputation while half the internet was actively rooting against her. She came out the other side of all of that with her head up. So when she finally said she had met someone, and not just anyone, but someone she described as the nicest person she had ever met in her life, someone whose story she called like a freaking movie, people genuinely wanted this to work for her. No cap. The goodwill was real. Now, on the other side of this, you have Klay Thompson, 36 years old, 4 championship rings, 5 All-Star appearances, one of the most celebrated shooters in NBA history. The Golden State Warriors dynasty does not happen without him. Splash Brothers, the whole era. That is his legacy. On paper, this is the dream pairing. A Grammy-winning rap icon and a legendary NBA star, stepping out together, looking like a power couple, making the whole world pay attention. They went public in 2025. Summer, low-key, the way celebrity couples always start. Someone spotted in the background of an Instagram post, people in the comments going, wait a minute, is that who I think it is? And then they just stopped hiding it. Red carpet appearance at Megan's own gala in New York City, both of them looking like they belonged on a movie poster. The world went crazy, and honestly, why wouldn't it? But here's the detail you need to lock in before we get to the main event. Klay is at the tail end of his career. His numbers this past season were roughly half of what they were at his peak. The identity he has spent his entire adult life building, the elite athlete, the champion, the untouchable shooter, that version of him is fading. And a man whose whole sense of self is tied to something that is slipping away will sometimes do things that make no sense from the outside. Just remember that. It is going to matter. Okay, here is where it gets crazy. Saturday, April 25th, 2026. Megan goes on her Instagram story and posts something that within minutes had screenshots flying across every platform simultaneously. She wrote, and I am going word for word here because the specifics matter. Cheating. Had me around your whole family playing house. Got cold feet. Pause on that for a second. Around your whole family, playing house. This was not some casual situationship where both people knew the deal. This was Sunday dinners, holidays, meeting the parents, the whole thing. She was operating like a real partner, showing up like a real partner, being treated in public like a real partner. And behind closed doors, apparently, something very different was happening. She then said she had been holding him down through what she called, and she put this in full capitals so you already know the energy, horrible mood swings, and treatment towards her during his basketball season. We do not know exactly what that means in terms of specifics, but she used the word horrible, and she made sure you felt it. And then came the line, the actual line. She revealed that Klay Thompson told her he was not sure he could be monogamous. Read that back slowly. This man, who had this woman around his entire family, who had her playing the full partner role, who had named his actual physical boat the SS Stallion, by the way, his boat, bro. This same man looked at her and said, I do not know if I can be faithful to one person. And Megan's response? She ended it. Same day. No back and forth. No let me think about it. Done. She wrapped the story by saying she needed a real break after this one. And honestly, who could blame her? The reaction online was immediate, and it was loud. And what was interesting is that this did not stay in the celebrity gossip lane. It crossed over into general relationship conversation. Because what Megan described, being fully committed to someone who is enjoying all the benefits of that commitment while privately refusing to match it, that is not a famous person problem. That is a real life problem that millions of people have lived through at various scales. That is why this hit different. That is why people who have never followed basketball in their life and have never streamed a Megan album were sharing screenshots and writing paragraphs in their Instagram stories about it. And then there is the SS Stallion factor, which the internet is absolutely not letting go of. The fact that this man named his boat after her, made a grand public romantic gesture, brought her into his family circle, and then apparently could not commit to being faithful, that contrast is the kind of detail that becomes a meme permanently. That boat is going to be in comment sections every single time Klay Thompson's name trends from now until he is 65 years old. Wait for it. It is already happening. Here is the part that most people are moving past too quickly, and they really should not. After the Instagram story, Megan released an official statement, and the way she did it tells you everything about where her head was. She did not wait for someone else to shape the narrative. She did not let a tabloid run with a version of events from an unnamed source. She sent her statement directly to the press, and it was measured, and it was clear, and it was final. She said trust, fidelity, and respect are non-negotiable for her in a relationship. She said when those values are compromised, there is no real path forward. And she said she is taking the time to prioritize herself and move ahead with peace and clarity. That is not a woman who is spiraling. That is a woman who made a decision and stood completely behind it. No door left open, no ambiguity, no maybe we will figure it out. The chapter is closed and she is the one who closed it. Now here is the twist that reframes everything. As recently as February of this year, Megan was publicly joking about manifesting her engagement to him. She was around Olympic athletes who were both engaged, and she looked at the camera and said she was manifesting that for herself. She thought she was heading towards forever. She was not performing for the public. She genuinely believed this was it. So the betrayal here is not just the cheating. The betrayal is the gap between the man she thought she was building something with and the man who eventually sat across from her and said he was not built for monogamy. Those are two completely different people, and she had to find out the hard way which one was real. So here is where everything lands. Megan Thee Stallion drew a line, communicated it clearly, and when it was crossed, she walked. No performance, no extended public breakdown, no waiting around hoping he would change. She said her standards are non-negotiable, and then she actually treated them as non-negotiable. That is harder than it sounds, and a lot of people who say the same thing do not actually follow through. For Klay, the reputational damage is real, and it is going to stick. He has not said a single word publicly in response. No statement, no defense, nothing. And in 2026, silence on an accusation this specific, this public, and this detailed reads one way. It does not read as taking the high road. It reads as having nothing to push back with. The broader story here, though, and this is what I keep coming back to, is about what happens when someone is given a level of love and stability they are not actually ready for. Megan described meeting him as a movie. She said he was the nicest person she had ever met. Somewhere between that moment and that Instagram story, the movie turned into something she did not sign up for. And she was honest enough and strong enough to say so out loud, instead of staying quiet to protect his image. She is taking her break. She is moving with clarity. And if we know anything about Megan Thee Stallion, we know that when she processes pain, she turns it into something. And whatever that something is, it is going to be worth paying attention to. Drop a comment below. Do you think Klay ever breaks his silence? And are we getting an album out of this? Subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.